to you from Australia, the crisis actor country on the flat earth with the ice wall around it. And on the turtle, there's turtles and elephants all the way down. Elephants all the way down for Revolution Radio on revolution.radio. That's true. That is true. Elephants, I'm not so sure. Ideas are good, and they're here. You can find them fresh and lukewarm, reheated, microwaved if you want to. Importantly, though, this station is not actually supported by any lettered agency, governmental organization, or NGO. Therefore, it requires your support, dear listener. And if you can, please do. Support, that is. Any kind of currency is good, including cash. That's right. These days, you got to ask, hey, do you accept cash? Like a moron. It's the legal tender in this country, but you have to ask, do you accept cash? Okay, hurrah. And crypto. Crypto is good. Today is the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day 2024. Happy Independence Day indeed. Maybe the last one for you guys. Oh, that's not funny at all. That's just tragic. But hey, maybe you can't donate. If you can't donate, just tell people on the station. That's just as good. You can catch the cave on the air, on the line, on your smart device. So grab an app to listen anywhere or listen at home on the greatest tabletop digital radio. Now, the funny thing is, because we are a terrestrial station, it'll be beamed into the sky at some point, and it'll travel the cosmos. This show is going to travel the cosmos. But you know what? The archives are free, so get in there and listen to your heart's content. Good stuff in there. Before we start broadcasting at you in anger, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast. And for Dave,
Dakajo.
That's the fastest you've ever said that. And for myself, it's the Rock people. Thank you. And we would like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. Thank you very much. Hey, vey. Where are we? I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna rattle it. I'm gonna rattle it down, and then I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking for those last few days. So, France looks like it's going really right wing. UK. It looks like they're gonna kick out the Tories of the last 14 years. That should be very interesting. The people that were the Brexit engineers are now out on their
Because that worked really well.
That worked so well. That was such a good idea. Hey, we should do that. Well, we're going to leave the Earth. That's right. We're no longer part of the Earth. How's that? There you go. That'll work. No, that didn't work at all. And then, of course, renewed tensions in the Middle East. There's 250,000 people trying to get away from the bombing in Khan Yunis. That's not so good. And Israel killed a very senior Hezbollah commander. Yeah, that's not so good either. That's just, what can we do to really ignite a war in the region? What? Come on, huh? Come on. Just hit me with the ideas, boy. This is a team effort, everyone. And then, of course, Biden and Trump. Joe Biden cannot run for president. Joe Biden, look, 80. I'm not. To be honest, I'd like to be as together as he is when I'm in my 80s. I mean, my grandfather was probably more lucid than he was. My grandfather was 86. I think he was when he passed away, but he was way more lucid. In fact, he was completely in command of his faculties. My grandfather. I mean, the body, he was giving way, but his mind was sharp. So I guess I want to be like my grandfather. I'm like Joe Biden. But seriously though, I mean, 80s is a good innings. Let's just give the mantle to to anyone that isn't with both feet firmly in the ground. Oh, I like this plot. I can see the apple tree from here. Yeah, sure you can. And it's the same with Trump. Oh, look.
Can I just
Trump?
raise something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, Mackie, yesterday I took a screenshot from my TV And
I saw that.
Yeah. So I've got that up on the screen right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I just wanted to say, someone clever put this together. Yeah, it rhymed. And what they did, they held a survey to say if Pritzker was running against Trump, what would the percentages be of preferred president between the Democrat and the Trump? And if Pritzker was running, it's 34% Pritzker and 40% Trump. Now, Bashir, 36% on the Democrat, 40 on the Republicans. Whitmer, if Whitmer's running, it's 36% versus 41% for Trump. Newsom, this, I'm straight. He's gloriously handsome, hair, teeth. He's smart. I'm not saying this personally, right? I'm saying what everyone else is saying. 39% versus Trump's 42%. Because the first thing Trump would say is, that California is looking good, isn't it? And, of course, the homelessness in California is off the charts. People living under freeways, right? Whole zones. Even the 5 freeway, one of the overpasses, pylons, was ruined because all of that homeless material caught fire. And it dangerously affected the concrete pylon, which they had to rebuild. Now, if this is where it gets good. The last 2 in the example. Vice President Harris. That's Kamala, by the way, if you don't know. 42% versus 43% Trump. I don't know who they asked, but that's extremely rare for VP Harris to be up that high. Now,
that's true.
It is. That's true, all right. Because otherwise, the Democrats would have already swapped her in. Yeah? So, they're frightened of what that would make their party look like. Now, this is the good one. If they parachute in Michelle Obama, that's what I meant to say. It was a Freudian slip. 50% versus Trump's 39%. That's something else. Now, I heard in an interview where they were really pressing Michelle Obama. Really, really pressing her.
To commit or?
To commit publicly to be in the running.
Interesting.
And she backed out a little, and if you interpret what she said, it is, I think it'd be an honor, but, right, I'm not about to oppose the president. So, I watched an interview from, this was post-Obama interview, post his second term. And he said, this isn't in any of the current context. This is in the context of him having sat 2 terms already. And he can't do another one. And he was asked, would you ever consider running again? Well, he goes, no.
I just think that's very interesting.
It is from a while back, though, and it's not in the current political landscape. And I think that's kind of a bit telling about what it could be if you add those 2 things together. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Michelle running and getting the role. They're back in the White House again. Woohoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he could be advising Michelle with an earpiece. Just off
that's
camera.
how it was during the Reagan years. I mean, really, so that's I got no issue with that.
Nice.
In fact, That's how it was for George Bush Jr. Everybody was whispering in his ear, well, he was the hand puppet for everyone. Hey, he's my hand puppet. No, says Cheney. No, says Rumsfeld. He's mine. I want it.
They're all fighting over the microphone. And...
No, over the hand puppet slot. What?
Well, you know, look, it's valid. You want to hear the end of the children's story. You know what I'm saying? And besides, Mickey, the French don't have a word for entrepreneur. So that's it.
But I hear Brazilians have African descended people. Are you got black people too? Yes. Yeah. What? Crazy talk.
LTPC, Mickey, a little Timport country. So, what I think is really funny here is there is a lot of debate. We've been told by the Democrat Party that they will solve this by the end of the week. So, I've got the popcorn out ready to go. If it's VP Harris, it's game on.
No, actually, it's game over if it's Harris. No. Look, the truth is this: if Harris or Biden run, for president,
it's the end.
That's it. That's okay. I mean, you might as well not have an election. It's go. Oh, you know what? We didn't. Why go through all the expense? What's the point? It's just Trump. Here you go. It's all yours. And look, that's what would happen, right? I mean, we have to be realistic about these things here. There's not. I mean, first of all, she's been completely invisible as vice president. I can't remember the last time I even saw her on TV. Okay, doing anything. I
love her speech. Today will be yesterday.
Overmorrow, no one will speak of April the 32nd. What? That was a Rumsfeldian thing. We know what we know, and we know what we don't know, and then we also know what we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know.
There we go. We don't know what we don't know, and we know what we know.
Look, you're right.
And we know what we know. We know what we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know.
That's right. And it was all perfectly correct, but you didn't have to say it. You just didn't have to say it.
Biden read out the word pause the other day.
No way.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah, totally. And
that's
in the
cool.
auto cue, there's in square brackets. These are directions in square brackets. If you're not familiar with it, and as you're reading it, there's a square bracket around a phrase or a word or instruction, and that said pause, and he read it out.
Well, you wanted to make sure that we all know that he knows what we know when he knows it, and we all know it. What? Oh my God, that's just nuts. No, but look,
it does hurt, Mickey. It does hurt. Do you know who? The last point. Do you know who it reminds me of now? He was sharp. Biden was sharp. He's certainly he's blunter than a block of concrete, right? At the moment, he reminds me of Ralphie. I'm learning.
These berries taste like burning.
Hi, Super Nintendo Jarvis. Ralphie.
We could do a whole hour of just Ralphie. You know that, right? Just the whole hour.
That is who I'm seeing now. I don't see anybody else. I see Ralphie when Biden's talking.
Look, I think that's actually fair. But to see, what I find astounding is that his closest advisor. I mean, okay, I always thought that the Democrats want to make sure that Trump doesn't. No, but I thought that his advice, or the Democrats overall, they want to make sure Trump doesn't get into the White House.
That's right.
I mean, I thought.
Oh, here we go. Strategy chat. Yep.
Yeah, that was the mission statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rightly or wrongly, but that was the mission statement. So, okay, right? I understand. I might not necessarily agree, but that's. I mean, if you've got an entire party mobilized just to make sure that guy doesn't get in, you really don't like him. Okay, whatever. No, it's not about winning the election so we can run the country better, or no, so he doesn't get in.
That's right.
That's what we're saying here. Okay, whatever. But if that's really the mission statement, I understand it. Then what are you doing? You can't let Biden run. You can't let. In fact, so Biden hasn't been nominated. You know that, right?
No, that's right.
He does have the delegates, though. So unless, I mean, this is just. I mean, I don't understand it. It's insane for him to be even considered at this point. Someone should have said to him, "Look, Joe, you've done a great job 4 years. You did beat Trump, whatever, etc., etc. You were there for 4 years. Clearly, you're not in the best of shapes. And if we go with you, then the American people are not going to elect us, and Donald is going to get in." So if Joe Biden really doesn't want Trump to get in, give it to Michelle Obama. She's probably the best right now. I think the Obamas have kind of sort of replaced the Kennedys as the charmed Democrat family, right? So go, just be that the buffer, be that person, just. Because it is just insane to think that Biden and Harris have any chance to win this election. I mean, you need some kind of miracle for that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. I mean, what? But look, there's other stuff as well. And look, Donald Trump, also almost in his 80s, clearly not my first choice for anything. But at least he seems to be lucid enough to actually be a president. Is he going to be the president that everybody wants? It ultimately doesn't matter. He's going to be the president that he wants to be. And if you vote for him, I said this 4 years ago as well. In fact, 8 years. Sorry, I said this 8 years, Dave.
I know, right?
8 years ago, I said to the American people, if you vote for Donald Trump, you have no idea what you're going to get. But that's what you know that. You know that's what you're getting because you never know what he's going to do. And that's okay, right? I mean, that's what people voted for. That's what they wanted, and that's what they got. So, and he did things, in my opinion, that are consistent with the American ethos of isolationism.
Yep.
Because non-isolationism, what we have seen since World War II, is not what America was like before World War II. No. In fact, America was very much of the opinion that, what, you just do what you want over there on the continent. We got a continent over here, and just let's keep it that way. We'll visit, and let's keep it civil, but I don't really want any of your problems, right? So it was never really a thing for America to want to be the global cop that they became after World War II.
That's right, because they didn't even want to engage in military activity before World War II at all.
No. It took a lot of doing. I mean, World War I, there was a bit of doing in Lusitania. World War II, Pearl Harbor. I mean, it took a lot of doing to get the Americans into those wars. A lot.
That's right.
And then, but see, what happened though, and this is really interesting. What happened is that after World War II, the American economy became addicted to the money that was flowing in from all kinds of war economies, as well as the reconstruction afterwards, which is even more lucrative.
Well, Eisenhower warned us.
He did. He very clearly, and he was 100% on the money. Of course, I expect him to be, because that's the kind of guy he was.
I didn't even know about the term military-industrial complex until I watched him say it.
That's right.
That's because I'm a million years old.
Dave's a million years old. We're just, a twinkle in my father's eye.
The teenagers look scary.
They always do. But look, ultimately, we have to ask ourselves, which part of the puppet show this really is. Because again, this is Plato's cave, everybody, right? And you have to ask yourself, what are we being distracted from? Because this is prime time drama. Now, it so happens, it actually matters who becomes president of the United States. It actually does matter. It's not like it doesn't matter. And it matters quite a lot, in fact. It really does. But there are other things afoot. There are other things happening. And it seems to be glossed over in the media. They mention it here and there, but certainly we're seeing a polarization across the world. We're seeing a polarization, not just in the United States, not just in the UK, right? In Germany, in France, in Hungary, in Russia even, right? There's polarization. It's actually coming through now. They're not really rah-rahing over the war anymore. In the
No.
Ukraine as well, believe it or not. People don't enlist anymore. They don't. If I enlist, I get killed. Thank you very much. That's no good. Africa is a mess. The polarization you will find, Brazil, in fact, you see massive polarization. It's everywhere. In India, Modi. He has failed in creating his ideal Hindu state. All he has created is oodles of ethnic and religious tension in this country. But again, that's not my problem. This is funny. The one country that seems to be really balanced, because it's always been the same, it's China. China's pretty even keel. So if you want to go somewhere with a stable government, you know where you go? You go to China. But you know what else is interesting? A lot of people across the world, we spoke about this on Tuesday, across the world that live in a de facto two-party system, right? Westminster, even the United States, they're starting to realize, hey, this doesn't work for me. I mean, just today here in Australia, the senator, in fact, sorry, it was a senator that crossed the floor to vote for the Greens instead of Labour, is resigned from the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And she's now an independent.
That's right.
And what's happening in Australia, which I didn't know about until yesterday, because that was the first time I heard it, they're now looking to establish, there's going to be not a party, but like a movement, similarly to the Teal Independence. Last election we had the Teal Independence that sort of ran on the climate change platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the same thing with Muslim candidates now. Now, it's always dangerous, in my opinion, if you put forward as your political base, my imaginary friend is better than your imaginary friend.
Well, there should be a separation of politics and religion.
No argument, but that doesn't. I mean, there is a separation of church and state in Australia, but it doesn't mean you can't have a religiously motivated party. I mean, we still open the parliament with a prayer.
That's right.
So yes, religion shouldn't. I mean, and Morrison was. He was right in there, wasn't he?
Hillsong.
Hallelujah. No, but really, that worries me a little bit. I'll tell you why it worries me, Dave. Because what you're doing now is you're dividing the community. Now, if you're Labour or Liberal, you could be black, you could be white, you could be Asian, you could be woman, you could be handicapped, you could be tall or short. It doesn't matter. You could be a Labour person, right?
Uh-huh.
But if you become like a Muslim party independent, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be a Muslim. You know what I mean? Right. So, to me, and I know people are going to hate me for this, and that's okay. I don't mind. But to me, that's dangerous. I think that is dangerous because we should not have parties that are motivated simply by, I guess, a fundamental belief, like a religious belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really worries me.
Singular religion.
Yeah. It does worry me. Now, you can say that, okay, Muslims come in all shapes and colors and sizes. That's true. Yep. That is, I won't argue that. But you're targeting a very specific segment of the population, more specific than what the Labour or Liberal, for argument's sake, even Green voters would do.
That's right.
Much more specific, right? And I'm not sure that's a healthy way to go, because I can see now when it comes to political arguments or, when it comes to even public appearances, I can see hate bubbling up, right? And targeted hate, and I don't think we need that. Well, I know we need.
I know that the opposition to that party, with, and I'm being very careful here.
Yeah, I understand.
I think the biggest fear, remember, fear is usually fear of the unknown.
Yes.
And so I would hazard at a guess that the biggest tool for all the other parties to be able to drum up fear would be two words: Sharia law. So that is the same as, Biden saying everything Trump says is a lie. It's simply something that a politician could say with their parliamentary privilege. They could generate fear against people wanting to vote for that party if that's the way that's going to turn out. And I don't think there should be, a Christian party. I don't think there should be a religious party that is... You can have all the parties you want, just not political party. I don't think there should be a branded religious type. I don't care if it was just religion party. I still don't think that that's appropriate. Because if you're going to run a country by utilizing the rules of a religion, is that the right thing? I think people would want to see a very broad range of skills in your political party. It's probably the reason why, the Shooters Party doesn't win every year, because they're interested in keeping the gun lobby active and participating, and that you can still purchase weapons, right? The Fishers Party, right? They just want to fish. What policy do you have in the Fishers Party, for instance, which is to do with governing the country? I don't know. Is you just milking it for funds? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm disappointed that the Labor Party itself, in our Australian political party, a single party, has that much hatred for someone that wants to cross the floor. From an all-inclusive declaration within the Labor Party to oust someone that crossed the floor, means that party is run like a dictatorship.
It exactly is. You're 100% correct. 100%.
Wait, what? When do we...
Yeah.
So for me, Meki, my biggest shock is how quickly a mildly left-leaning, because they're not extremely left, mildly centre-left party can go rogue.
Well, you see, it's actually interesting. I mean, the thing is this. That it's only the Labour Party that does this. You have to vote with a caucus. You have to vote as a united front. Liberals, they don't care. I mean, well, they care, but they don't have that ironclad rule.
Oh, they're too busy counting money, Mickey.
Yeah, sometimes they let them vote on a conscience basis, right? So you have to vote your conscience, fair enough. And in my opinion, truly, in my opinion, what the lady did was she voted her conscience. Because, she clearly has ties to Palestine. Oh, sorry, or Palestinians maybe. And she feels very strongly, and she said, no, I don't think so. I think we have to do something here. We have to, this is wrong. And if this was about climate change, nobody would say anything. Vote your conscience. But it wasn't about climate changes. And this is something that's very divisive in the Australian society now as well. And this is really dangerous, really dangerous. And Dutton is just fanning the fire. He's pitting the Jewish community against the Muslim community in many ways, where Dutton says, we have to support our Jewish citizens and the Jewish community. Well, yeah, of course we do, because they're Australians. But so are the Muslims that live here. They're also Australians. Should we not support them as well? I mean, is this an either or? Is it? Do we have to make a choice now between whom we support and whom we do not support? I'm sorry, but I think that's a little dangerous. I'm a little concerned here.
In some ways, Meki, it reminds me of the stories that I learnt about when I was a child about the Crusades.
Yeah.
About being polarized between religions and just seeking out and destroying those people from a religious standpoint. Another religion. And that's I thought we had freedom of religion.
Well, we do, right? But all of a sudden, it's become politicized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and I'll be honest with you, it sort of crept up on me. I didn't actually see it. I go, oh wow, that's where we are now. Jeez, okay. And I don't like it. But again, it is distracting from many other things that we need to fix here.
I know World War III is pretty darn close.
Look.
Just think about this, Becky. How quickly we would turn if we were to engage an enemy today, or a group of allies as an enemy base, with our side as allies and their side as allies. How I think we'd just go down World War II path, right? Round them all up. Don't care how long you've been living here.
It can happen.
And really
can happen
fast.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So this is really the lesson from history here, right? But what worries me is that we have started walking down this path.
Oh yeah, totally. I can't see the origin of the path, but we're walking somewhere.
So it's though we had been abducted and someone dropped us in the middle of the road. Right?
Oh, that takes. I'm
down a ways. Okay. No, all jokes aside, it's a terrifying prospect because I grew up in Europe. My grandparents experienced World War II and they told me about it. My mother was born in 1941, and she experienced it as a toddler, and then of course the aftermath as a young child. Not fun. It's not fun, these things. Okay? And here we are stampeding toward an abyss because we've forgotten in the West. We've forgotten how horrific this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not fun. And you know what though, Dave? If it came to it.
Yep.
Lucky we have a plan. You know what the plan is?
No.
The Great Reset.
Oh, I love the Great Reset.
The Great Reset, huh?
I love the leader and the AI.
I love them all so many times every day. What?
That's right. We have universal basic income.
Yeah. Because once the thing is this, every time, and we discussed this at length, of course. Every time there's a significant conflict, and we only really had 2 global conflicts per se, right?
Yeah.
But there have been significant conflicts in the past because populations were smaller, etc. So, but every time there was a significant conflict, a new something emerged, a new ideology, a new order, a new country, a new empire, whatever it might be, right? All the way back to the beginning of written history, all the way back, and probably before that. I mean, did you see today? They found cave art in Indonesia.
Yeah.
That is 50,000 years old.
That's right.
Which makes it the oldest cave art in the world.
Yeah. Take
By
that,
far.
France.
Exactly. Now, do you remember what we always said when we do these shows about, they have to push back further and further. They have to push back further and further the timing of the human race.
That's right. And geez, they don't like doing it.
No, but you know what? Sometimes they have no choice. And but I do like to be right about these things.
Yeah.
About those things, I like to be right. Yeah, I don't like to be right about some of the other things, but those things I feel vindicated because it's intuition and intelligence as well as learning, in my opinion, that get us to the next step in our evolution. That's my opinion. It is no longer just pure intellect. It is intuition, and this intuition, excuse me, that we just know the. Show your work. Well, no, I can't show the work because I just know it's right.
Yeah.
do you mean show the work? What do you mean? There's no show the work. This is.
Mhm.
I know this is the answer. Is it the answer? Yes. Well, there you go. Oh, you must have cheated. No, this is. I just know the answer.
Yeah. Yep.
Intuition got us to our awareness cascade and 2020 and the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Intuition.
And
Okay.
we were right.
And there's that. There, you can stand in your head. Right? That's the truth. And I see this now very clearly. See, this is a funny thing, Dave, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but there are two things I'm really good at. You probably crap at the rest of life, but two things I'm really good at. One, I'm never wrong about a person. Never. I've never been wrong about a person.
Sixth sense, Becky.
The impression they made on me, etc. Yeah, it's like a sense, right?
Yeah.
And I've never been wrong about a statement that was tied to how can I put this best? A future development or a social context. Let me explain.
A plan of some kind.
Yeah. The awareness cascade is one. Being able or having to push out the human race further and further into the past,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So things like that I've never really been wrong about. Other things, yeah, many things I've been wrong about otherwise. But it is really intuitive. Where I can't show you my work, I can't because I can't. But trust me when I tell you, we are now arriving at an inflection point where the dark ages will feel like like the good old times. Summer holiday. Because we are just about to throw away everything we've achieved in the last 5,000 years.
Yeah.
We'll throw it away.
Yeah.
And why?
Gone.
Because of a few. Because of a few.
I think some of that can go in the recycling making, but the rest of it,
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's in the permanent bin. Yeah. So this, there was something. Oh, Brian Cox. There was a story today I saw where he doesn't believe in the Big Bang Theory anymore.
Okay.
Now I've yet to read it, and I'm looking forward to reading it because I want to be right. I want to be right about light aging and doing the redshift and the Doppler that we're seeing works fine in every case except for light coming from the further away it is, the more redshifted it is, and it's not because it's moving, the item is moving away from us, just that light ages. That's what I want to see, and I can't wait to be right on that. Yeah, it could be simply he rejects the Big Bang Theory, not just because of the James Webb Telescope findings, where they've found even more galaxies, even further away, which don't make any sense and don't fit the model of there being a Big Bang. But maybe he's more, and I can't wait to see his writing, but his paper. But if it is because he believes we're in a simulation, I'm on board with you there too.
And that's really a very good point you're raising there. This is important maybe to understand as well. We have a very tenuous hold on reality. When I say 10 years, we have no hold on reality at all.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't know what's going on.
You mean we don't know what we don't know?
The more we see, and that's why I keep saying that our horizons are going to shift. And they're going to shift significantly, right? Because we can see so much more now. We can see so far. And I'm not just talking about telescopes, but I'm also talking about intellectually the concepts and things like gene editing, nanotechnology, all endeavors that we are pursuing in our life, science, economics, philosophy. It doesn't really matter. We are seeing more and more, and it is the minds that are closed and insist on sticking in the mud that will be left behind. Very simply, they will be left behind because we will evolve our knowledge. We will know more, and we should now be honest enough with ourselves. I really think we should be, to admit that, you know what? Yeah, we don't really know. We don't know. We have a few ideas, some theories, here they are, but by for the love of Christ, don't nail me to those theories, please, because they're probably going to be wrong. And yet here we are. Well, maybe not we, but quite a few people defending those theories as though our life depended upon it. Destroying other people in the process, and I mean destroying.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's. I mean, Carl Sagan. I think I sent it to you, Dave. He beautifully outlined his thoughts around Immanuel Velikovsky, worlds in collision, etc., etc. Now, most of Velikovsky's ideas had been proven wrong. Not all of them, but most, right? By now. But Carl Sagan said that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if his ideas are wrong. I mean, you examine them, you come up with something other or better, you prove it, disprove it, doesn't matter. The problem, he said, was that he was being censored. Just like Graham Hancock is being censored. Just like Robert Schoch and Robert Bauval and John Anthony West when he was still alive, and Lloyd Pye, Sitchin, all these guys are being censored. Are they right? Well, ultimately, it doesn't matter if they're right. What matters is they've given us new ideas to think about. And new ideas are a wonderful thing. Are they going to be right? No, maybe not. But a lot of new ideas leads to complete changes in the way we think about the world, in the way we approach the world. Okay?
Yeah.
Einstein there was a book published, 100 Scientists Against Einstein. Do you know that? 100.
Wow.
Why Einstein was wrong. And all these things we say these days, like Schrödinger's cat and
that's right.
All that. These guys weren't in favor of what they were saying. They were trying to prove how ridiculous it is.
That's right.
Okay. It turns out, unfortunately, it is that ridiculous. Okay. because experimental data has shown us that, that's exactly what it is. And I know I come back to it a lot, but I have to. Skinwalker Ranch, which is back again, by the way, excuse me, and I'm watching as well as Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, and they also had a bit of a compilation, Dave, which I definitely have to give you. It's very interesting. But and a lot of background on these people, and it's fascinating that, this head security guy on the ranch is actually a really, really old friend of Fugel's. They went on Mormon missionary together. So they're lifelong friends. Like, Dragon, that's it's his nickname, Dragon. And what they're finding out, and the money they're spending, because they're spending big bucks, this equipment, because I wanted to get a bless my naive little heart.
Naive, yeah. How many frames per second did you want to get?
I wanted to get 1,000 frames per second. That's what I wanted. Okay, high-speed camera. Now I can't even afford to rent one for a day. Okay, let me just tell you that. And they're bringing that kind of equipment and these drones. I mean, the drone that he had there was $250,000, right?
Sure.
They got drilling equipment. That drilling rig is easily $500,000 that they have for that. And of course, it's not his. They're renting it, but they're not giving it to you for free. I can guarantee that. But my point here is that this Brandon Fugel, he's investing a lot of money into this, and it's really off his own bat. And all the people that are there, they're just investigating, and he's bankrolling the whole thing, right? And it's the things they're finding. And I don't know if you've seen it, guys. I need you to watch it and look at what they're actually finding. And if you don't know much about science, just educate yourself a little bit, especially on frequencies, maybe a little bit of quantum physics and other things, and even light. Just understand how light works, lasers, etc. And when you see the things that are happening, that they're actually catching on video. They're catching this, right? They're making measurements, scientific measurements, and it blows my mind, Dave.
Yeah.
I have no explanation. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not, but I am very interested, and I did go to uni. I did science. I've done science all my life. I'm fascinated by science, especially cutting edge science. So I keep myself informed. My math could be better, but we all have our cross to bear. But I see what I see, and I have no idea how that would be possible. I mean, I've got some ideas how this would be possible, right? I mean, but all of my ideas are all science fiction. All the ideas I have to explain what I'm seeing there, they're all science fiction. Because we have no way of doing any of it, or at least that we know of, right? So it really is, Dave. You have to, if you get your hands on it, you have to watch it. It is the stuff that they've not just there, but they've now gone to other places in the States that have similar kind of
that's right.
Reputations, let's call it, right? And to me, all the stuff with Biden and Trump and all this World War III stuff, I'll be honest with you, because I'm interested in many things, and I look at the whole spectrum of things that I'm interested in. They seem to be a distraction from the actual mysteries. Because all of the stuff, all of the things that we discuss, the economy, politics, they're all man-made. We made it all. That's us. We've made it all. We created this mess, right? But the real mysteries, right? The things we can't explain. And I told you about the wormholes. I think might be ambulant, mobile, right? Drifting, and that's how we've got a whole bunch of 411 cases. All these, they're falling by the wayside completely. They're completely falling, and it captures, the Kardashians capture our interest. The Obamas and the Bidens and the Trumps of the world, they capture our interest. They suffocate us with airtime. And the real mysteries, I'm actually talking, really real mysteries. The stuff where you go, it's real, and we have no idea what it is, or how it works, or where it comes from, or anything. That sort of, Dave, that gets like second fiddle. It's like in bleachers somewhere. And I know you especially understand the pain, because you have experienced this.
Yeah.
Right? And telling people about it, they look at you like you're insane. They do. I know when I talk about stuff that I've seen or heard or what I believe, they look at me like I'm insane. That's okay. I dig it. I don't mind, whatever. They do. Because they can't comprehend how that could fit into their worldview.
That's right.
Right?
Workshops in home, Mickey.
That's it. And that's really what Plato's Cave and the Shiny Side Out, for that matter, and in fact, hopefully this entire radio station are about. To shake you, to rattle your cage just a little, to go, hey, wait a second. Look over here. You didn't look at that. We're shining a light in the corner. There, look at that. That's crazy. That's the crazy bit. And I do believe that the parasites have kept from us technology that is centuries ahead of what we have today. I believe this. I know people argue and say, making this crazy. No, I honestly believe that is the case. Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that is absolutely the case. And in fact, you don't even just look at the stuff that's happening. Just have a look, and you go, oh, okay, there's a lot of craziness. That's true. We can't explain this. We can't explain that, and we don't really know how that works. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you're not that crazy, Mickey. Maybe there's something there. But I tell you, Dave, it upsets me that that it just gets no airtime. The actually important stuff gets no airtime.
So, the way I see everything that's going on right now is the closer we get to something, the further we get away from it. I know that it doesn't make sense.
No, I know what you mean.
And that is because of distractions. So the closer we got to disclosure, they wound up the public information, and then we ended up with only whistleblowers, and then a new entity was born in the government that was to look after UAPs, not UFOs, and not historical events, anything in the future. But they have a very, very narrow band. They're not allowed to see anything that NASA does, and with the limited information that they had to research from their inception, they said we don't have any conclusive evidence of anything. Well, that's great. That's how else, Meki, would you put together a crack team of researchers and experts in order to look into and report to you on, if you're president, I don't care who you are, something that is happening in the skies, has happened for more than 80 years, more than, because there was UFO sightings and things that occurred before we had manned space flight, manned powered flight, right? Heavily in air flight. There was things happening, and even a UFO crashed, and they buried the body in a small cemetery in a country town.
I know that case is really fascinating, man.
So the closer we were getting so close to revealing everything, and then now we're further away than we were before.
I know, right?
It's like playing and getting that reverse card.
Yeah, one step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, so what happened? Why am I back here now? Or, if you're Trump, they go directly to jail card if you're playing Monopoly. So, I don't mind community chest, right? Go back 3 paces. Each one of these stupid things that we get. So the closer we get to understanding the universe, suddenly now there's a cat amongst the pigeons, and we don't know where we are. We have to regroup to try and work it out. Every time we get close enough to understanding and getting smart people to tell us that there are reverse engineered things in government possession, and you hear experts say they just don't want us to have the technology because they can't have us have that technology. It would be too dangerous. And I think dangerous for who? Is it dangerous for us? No. It's dangerous for the elites that we should have any of that technology. They want us to run us into the ground doing all the things we're doing, rather than give us technology that could release humanity from all the bad things we're doing. It could change our lives, Meki. I wouldn't have to work anymore, right? Give me a replicator and a power source.
Forget work. There would be no diseases, Dave.
Oh,
there
yeah,
would
totally.
Be no suffering. There would
yeah.
I mean, it's just nuts.
They could CRISPR the whole lot of us into health, but they'd probably ruin the human genome so badly. It would look like someone cut and pasted a whole bunch of things together and just ruined everything.
Maybe.
I don't think we're at the right point for that. But you remember?
No, but that's CRISPR. No, I'm talking about tech that's 3, 4, probably 5,000
years in front of us. Yeah, that's right.
Like, I'm talking about the parasitic tech here, which. Yeah. So let's be clear here.
1 minute.
What I'm saying is there's a cure for cancer. What I'm saying is that you don't have to age.
That's right.
What I'm saying is that a rock in the head will still kill you, but you're not going to die of old age.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying to you, and I am convinced that's the truth.
Me too.
Okay?
Me too.
And I don't care what anyone else says, because logic, pure logic and common sense tell you that it must be true.
Mm-hmm.
We've been when I was a boy.
There's the story ending.
Yeah. When I was a boy, humanity was 100,000 years old. Now we've pushed back to 300,000 years. And I suggest that it will be pushed back much further. But look, that's the music. Thank you so much for joining us for this interesting hour, I hope. This has been Plato's Cave. Don't go anywhere. Nothing else is going to come up. But most of all, be safe.